Next up, let's take you through the starting grid for the Superheat for Junior Max, which will take place over 9 minutes plus one additional tour. Jack West will start from pole position like he did from the heats yesterday. He'll be joined by Cameron Nelson once again on the front row. Tom Strella and Boris Maximov round out row number 2. Then we've got Taze van Wyk and points leader Jacob Ashcroft rounding out the top 3 rows. Ryan Gandor, Ollie Wise, Max Sudersky and Jacob Woods, aka Woodsy, rounding out the top 10. Will Archer, Isaac Barker, Callum Sims, Vlad Tominchuk, Casper Nissen, Harry Freeman, Lars Lambers, Tom Hager, Silas Nicolaisen and Jim Back round out the top 20. Ava Morris starts 21st, ahead of Matthias Jeller, Bram van der Weken, Mate Kobahidze, Daniel Minto, Samir Paul, Lieke van Berkel, Nicolas Machon, and last but by certainly no means least, AJ Berggraaf from the Netherlands. So the drivers weaving from side to side down the straightaway from turn 9 into the sweeping right at turn 10, just off of the grandstand and cafeteria area here at the Home of Champions. Air temperature has increased to 11 degrees Celsius. Wind still northwesterly at the moment. Humidity down to 76%. Blue skies and sunshine above. That's exactly what we want here on Championship Sunday. So I have seen that we've got a yellow flag off of Marshall Post 7. That might have been, well, AJ Berggraaf, I think, has just crossed the stripe. Quite a way back from the rest of the field. So it is down to the responsibility of Jack West and Cameron Nelson at the front row of the grid to control proceedings. So Jacob Ashcroft looking to make sure he gets 2 championship titles in 2 different classes. Last year won the Minimax title and had what we called the perfect season. All of the scores that were counted for Jacob Ashcroft were a maximum score. Good to see Patrick Verbist on the YouTube channel cheering on Bram van der Weken, who starts all the way down on the inside of row number 12. But the drivers will now be getting into the 2x2 rolling start formation out of 9 minutes plus an additional lap of racing. Once they have passed the red line, no overtaking past that point. Red lights on the gantry, couple of stragglers at the back, including the back row. However, we're set, ready, understarter's orders. Out of the final corner, into the tram lines, the lights go out. We're underway in the Junior Max Superheat. And Cameron Nelson left a little bit hung out to dry on the outside. 3 wide, battling over P3, coming out of turn number 2. But Jack West already has started to get an initial getaway. So has, I think, possibly, well, that's Tom Strella behind him in P2. The field makes its way into turn number 6. Oh, dearie me, that was Silas Nicolaisen, the 236 on the CS55 chassis. Accidentally... well, might have had a little bit of an assist on that from behind and ended up going off the circuit, but managed to rejoin. However, Jack West has got about a 6 kart length lead as the field makes its way through into turn number 10. So the field making its way through the final corner after the opening lap. Jack West, the 292 from KR Sport leads the way by nearly half a second ahead of Tom Strella. Cameron Nelson third. Taze Van Wyk, Jacob Ashcroft, Boaz Maximov, Max Sadurski, Ryan Gandor, Will Archer, and Lars Lambers round out the top 10, followed by Harry Freeman, Casper Nissen, Callum Sims, Ollie Wise, and Jacob Woods running out the top 15. Move up the inside on Van Wyk. That was Ashcroft through and past. Now Sadurski. Oh, that's a great little move. Little bit of a dummy there from the 297. Managing to get through on the 230. The 214, the youngster from Canada, Ryan Gandor. Also trying to see if he can make up a position or two, and has dropped one already. Oh, getting a bit feisty. Will Archer off the circuit. Lars Lambers getting caught up in that as well. And that's caused a little bit of a train starting into turn number 12. And that was Ollie Wise, I think, that got through. So Ollie Wise now up to P10. Jacob Woods drops down to 16th. Will Archer now 11th. Oh, and look at this swarm of junior road tax drivers filtering their way through turns 2 and 3. 2-3 wide at points. Incredible how they all have got through relatively unscathed. 4 wide coming out of turn number 6. Jim back on the outside. I think I just spotted 288. Daniel Minto making his way through. Oh, big old moment there. And that was Mate Kobahidze, the Georgian. Oh dear, it's gone very, very wrong for the young man from Georgia. Yesterday was a day to forget. Had a little bit of a chat with him and his dad Vako yesterday evening before I left the circuit, and just said, just give it everything you've got. Leave nothing on the table. And well, that's a real unfortunate stumble for Mate Kobahidze. But there are still plenty of changes afoot. Jacob Woods has dropped all the way down to 26th. Ava Morris, she started 21st, now in 27th. So, biggest movers at the moment. AJ Berggraf started down in last place, now 18th. Meantime, battle happening between Cameron Nelson, Taze Van Wyk, and in 5th place, there is Jacob Ashcroft. And, oh, mistake there from Nelson. And Van Wyk and Ashcroft are through to 3rd and 4th respectively. An uncharacteristic stumble there by Cameron Nelson. That's allowed Max Sadurski to close in on him. And he's right on his rear bumper across the line as we complete lap 4. Now change for the lead. Through on lap 5 at turn 3. Tom Strella from Latvia gets through on Jack West from the United Kingdom for the race lead. However, Jack West will not take that lying down at all. He is now going after Tom Strella. Pulls to the outside through into turn 7. See if there's a window of opportunity through the chicane. Not quite. Strella defends rather sternly and kept the cart on the racing line. However, Jack West will not be stopped. I remember speaking to his dad Lee yesterday evening, and he said, yeah, he's done really well, but he can't stop moaning at the minute. And I said, well, what has he done? He said, he's ruining the fact he was making mistakes. Well, that's on him, isn't it? He's the racing driver. He's the one out there on track. And I said to him, he's got to get his elbows out then. But Strella is not being allowed to get away at all by any stretch of the imagination. Jack West is hunting him down. Sometimes it's easier to be the hunted than it is the hunter. But sometimes it's even more difficult. If you are right with the hunted and you try and get through, sometimes you're going to have to use every trick in the book. Leave no stone unturned to get the job done firmly, but at the same time, fairly. So just under 3.5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap here in the Junior Road Tax Super. Tom Strella now brings us out of the final corner to complete lap 6 as the race leader. Jack West in P2. 3rd, Van Wyk. 4th, Ashcroft. Sadurski now 5th ahead of Cameron Nelson. Boaz Maximov has got past Canada's Ryan Gandor in the meantime. Ollie Wise and Will Archer round out the top 10. Harry Freeman, Casper Nissen, Bran van der Weken up 10 spots. Now 13th, head of Lars Lambers, Callum Sims, Daniel Minto, Matthias Jaller, AJ Bergdorf, Isaac Barker and Lieke van Berkel. Rounding out the top 20. Samir Paul, Vlad Tominchuk, Jim Buck, Tom Berger, Jacob Woods, Celeste Nicolaisen, Nicolas Machon, Mata Kobahidze and Ava Morris are all still running out on track. All 29 drivers that started this race with 2.5 minutes to go are still on track. But now Thijs van Wijk brings himself into the mix as one of the top 3 on the road at the moment. And not too far behind is the current driver the leader of the championship, Jacob Ashcroft. Now, great dive up the inside at turn 2 by Jack West on Tom Streller, and that opened the door, and through went Thijs van Wijk. Ashcroft now is going to factor into this. And through they go out of turn number 6 onto the Europalan, and Jacob Ashcroft pointing furiously at Tom Streller. So just keep pushing those guys in front. Just keep putting the pressure on them. Now through turn number 9, West parks it on the apex. Van Wijk now deciding what's he going to do. Ashcroft trying to get the over-under on Tom Streller. He's going to put himself on the outside of turn number 11, and he had to back out of that one. And now this has brought in Max Swiderski, the quintet at the front end of the field, and now the race really begins. 3 laps to go, including this one. Fastest lap of the race by the driver in second. 56.446 by Thijs van Wijk. West still leading. Top 5 were covered by less than half a second. They've got to be very, very careful because look who are closing in. Cameron Nelson, Ryan Gandor and Ollie Wise. And there was a move from Ashcroft, I think. Ashcroft managed to keep himself ahead of Swiderski. Maximov is now on the back bumper of the 297, running with under the SLC Karting brand. Oh, careful, Max Swiderski. Oh, that's Ashcroft off into the barriers. At turn 10 with 2 laps to go, the points leader gets a touch from behind and he's off the circuit. Now we've had a penalty being issued in the meantime, 2.79. Ava Morris, 1 or 2 wheels outside the tram lines, but a big, big blow there for Jacob Ashcroft. A touch from behind it on the run down to turn number 10. But the timer has now expired. Jacob Ashcroft finds himself all the way down to the bottom end of the order, whereas Jack West, at the minute, is still holding on. Time has expired. After this, 1 more lap to go. Sideways from Van Wijk through turn 8. Oh, and he's trying to force the issue now. And here comes Boaz Maximov. He's round the outside. Oh, he tried on Swiderski and Streller to get through for P3. And now, look, there's a train of 10 carts at the front end of the field at least. 1.36 kilometres to go. Drama has hit the Junior Super Final on the last day of the season. And now it's going to be a drag race out of the final corner. Last lap now gets underway. Van Wijk leads, West second, Streller third, Swiderski fourth, Maximov, Nelson, Wise, Gandor, Nissen and Archer now into it. West back into the race lead. Streller being hustled along by Swiderski through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. And it's 3 wide behind Cameron Nelson and Max Swiderski coming out of turn 6. But it's given the breakaway to the top 2. Swiderski looks to be third. Oh, Maximov has lost a big chunk of places. A big chunk of places for the 230 from the Netherlands. But it's going to come down to the wire. The leaders make their way out of turn 10, now through turn 11 for the final time. Line astern, oh, 5 wide coming out of turn 10. It's all kicking off here, but Jack West wins the superheat amidst drama, and there is a 5-second penalty going to the 224. But Jack West hung on to that one. I know his dad Lee's here at the moment, working away, but also keeping a keen eye on what his son has done. And Jack West has just put himself on provisional pole position for the final. Taze van Wyk in second, Cameron Nelson third, Max Swiderski fourth. Obviously, there was the contact between himself and Jacob Ashcroft, and Jacob unfortunately retired with 2 laps to go. Cameron Nelson takes third ahead of Swiderski, Ollie Weiss fifth, Casper Nissen sixth ahead of Ryan Gandor, Bran van der Weyken, who made up 15 places to 8th at the finish. Lars Lambers, Tom Streller, Harry Freeman, Boris Maximov, Will Archer, Callum Sims, Matthias Jallerup, Samir Paul, Jim Back, Lieke van Berkel, Tom Hager and Vlad Tominchuk ran at the top 20. Jacob Woods would recover to finish 21st ahead of Mate Kobahice, with Isaac Barker, AJ Bergeraff, Ava Morris, Nicolas Marchand, Silas Nicolaisen and Daniel Minto, the last of the classified finishers in what was a dramatic junior superheat.